Hey guys, it is Julie here with JT.Wealth. In today's video, we are chatting about financial independence and retiring early, also known as FIRE. So let's get into it. All right, guys, welcome back and thank you so much for being here. Like I said, today we are chatting about FIRE. So we're going to discuss exactly what FIRE is and where it came from. We're going to look at some charts and metrics about being financially independent. We're going to take a look at who can really benefit from this movement and also discuss some myths surrounding it. And just before we jump into all of that good stuff, this is just your friendly reminder to please make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Helps us grow and helps you stay up to date with all of our latest videos. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button too. Down below in the description, there are some great referral links if you're looking to start a new investment account. And right now, Webull is offering 3 free stocks. So 1 free stock just for signing up and another 2 free just for funding your account. So make sure to check out those. All right, now let's chat about FIRE. And I want to start off by showing you guys a really great resource for FIRE related content. And that is this website, which is Mr. Money Mustache. And this is a blog and forum site that is totally dedicated to the financial freedom topics. And within Mr. Money Mustache's blog, there is this great article, which is the shockingly simple math behind early retirement. So if you look for this post, it is going to help you find this chart to break down the money required to retire early. And this chart breaks down the savings rate versus the working years until retirement. So showing you if you are able to save a certain percentage of your income, you have to work X amount of years to be able to retire and maintain that same income level. If you look at the numbers, most people only saving around maybe 5 to 10% of their income. So they have a very long career path until retirement with that 51 to 66 years. Now, if you're wanting to cut that down, get closer to the 20-year mark, you're looking at saving about 40% of your income. And even shorter, getting close to the 10 years, would be 65%. Now, obviously, 65% savings rate is pretty high and would definitely require a lot of dedication and sacrifice. But remember, you cannot have million-dollar dreams and a minimum wage work ethic. But before we get too bogged down in the numbers of all this, let's take a look at where the FIRE movement began. And that was in 1992 when Vicki Robin and Joe Dominguez published Your Money or Your Life, which popularized the idea of achieving financial independence rather than spending the best days and years of your life working in a 9-to-5 to make money. To Robin and Dominguez, financial independence wasn't just an idea, it was a way of life. After working on Wall Street, Dominguez retired at 31 and never accepted money for work again over the remainder of his life. Together, they created a movement that was aimed at freeing people from consumerism and educating people on the ways of simple living and financial independence. Now, the core concept of their book is that most of us float through life unknowingly exchanging our time for money. But time is our most scarce resource, and we end up trading our life to buy things that don't really matter, like the fancy cars, a brand new house, or nice clothes. Vicki Robin said, "You have to want something more than you want stuff. You have to want something more than the life you have. Otherwise, this is going to be a very difficult path." When it comes to your financial goals, you can have results or you can have excuses, but you cannot have both. Now, it is very easy to see why there is such an appeal to this FIRE movement. Who doesn't want to be able to retire early and have financial independence? And when you think about retirement age, you probably think of someone in their late 50s or 60s, and there's a reason for that. It's the norm, as the Social Security Administration allows you to start taking benefits at 62. But where did this whole norm of a retirement age actually come from? It is said to have originated in Germany in the 1800s, but made its way over to the United States in 1935, when Franklin D. Roosevelt proposed the Social Security Act to ease the financial strains of retirement. Starting at age 65, workers could retire and qualify to receive Social Security benefits. But why was 65 the right number then? Well, at the time, the average life expectancy was only 61, so setting the retirement age at 65 would mean that most people would never live to retirement. This would make it a cheap plan that could be sustained with moderate taxes, which isn't the case today. So knowing that, it does seem a bit crazy that we all continue to work and plan our working lives around this arbitrary age without really questioning if it truly makes sense for us. So I think one of the biggest allures of the FIRE movement is actually flexibility. As Tanya Hester said, financial independence ultimately means that you can shape your life without taking money into consideration. Most of us have to consider our finances in nearly every decision we make, or even make decisions solely based on money. But once we reach financial independence, we get the freedom not to be bossed around by what we earn or what we have saved. The FIRE movement definitely has a looser, non-traditional definition of retirement, as it's not the old school mentality of quitting your job and then just never working again. It is more so having the freedom to pursue your dreams and ambitions and having the freedom to choose if you want to work or not. So if your goal is financial freedom, there are two secrets to your success. Number one is starting, and number two is don't quit. Financial independence is a powerful, aspirational goal that is readily achievable if people are willing to make some small but important optimizations in their lives. Jonathan Mendonza says there is a concrete definition of financial independence, and that is when your net worth is 25 times your annual expenses. So you're considered financially independent if your annual expenses are $40,000 and your total net worth is $1 million. And with those metrics in mind, it's easy to see the value of being able to cut some of your living expenses too. As if you are able to cut your monthly expenses by $100, that means you need $30,000 less overall to be considered financially independent. So let's talk about who the FIRE movement is really for. And on this note, I would argue that it is for everybody. Now, there are two distinct parts with the FIRE movement. The first being financial independence, and the second part being retiring early. Now, I think financial independence is a goal that everyone should be trying to work towards. On that note, I do completely understand that we're not all in positions to be saving large chunks of our money or making big changes in our lifestyle. But it is an end state that we can definitely be working towards through financial literacy, through starting small savings plans, and just creating those good financial habits. Now, on the retiring early side, that is completely anybody's personal choice, and it can mean different things for everybody. A lot of people might love their jobs and have no intent on retiring early. Others, it might mean quitting your current job just to have the opportunity to explore your dream job. So retiring early does not just necessarily mean that you stop working. It means you stop working for someone else and you have the freedom to choose what your next steps look like. Now, Hester warns that retiring early because you don't like your job is a bad reason to do it and is a recipe for being bored or aimless when you get there. Achieving FIRE is a big deal and it takes a lot of focus and determination. It's not for those who want to get rich quick or for those who just hate their job. So let's talk about the steps that it takes to reach FIRE, because how many success stories do you need to hear about before you make your own? Now, the first crucial step is figuring out your why. If you want to retire early, you need to have a strong why. Do you want to quit your job so that you can start that business you always talked about with your friends? Do you want to have more than 2 weeks per year of vacation time? Do you want to spend more time with your loved ones? Whatever your why, let that be the motivating factor to create a plan and stick to it during the tough times. Once you have that why, you want to determine your path. So you need to be able to try and determine what you want your life to look like in the next 5, 10, 20 years. Where do you want to be living in the world? What do you want to be doing? What types of activities? And what is it going to take to get you there? And then the second step is tracking your expenses. So check out your bank statements, credit card statements, online budgets, and make note of exactly what you're spending money on and whether or not those purchases are meaningful or necessary. So this is where you really start to track what your lifestyle is costing you every year and look at it realistically and see where you can possibly shrink some numbers. This is then going to allow you to determine how much you're going to be able to put away for savings. From there, FIRE comes down to the math and mechanics. Mendonza suggests 10 pillars of financial independence. These include lowering your housing costs, driving used cars, cutting your cable cord, lowering your tax liability, switch to cheaper cell phone services, use credit card rewards and smart financial habits, reduce your grocery bills, increase your income and try to add multiple income streams, invest via low-cost index funds, and then use the 4% rule, which is the ultimate equation behind achieving financial independence when you can safely withdraw 4% from your nest egg each year to cover your expenses and still have enough money down the road. So yes, there is nothing sexy or exciting about these pillars. There is no get rich quick here. This is making conscious choices day after day with your ultimate goal of financial independence in mind. Now, we all know that you have to crawl before you can run. And if you think of any successful person that you know in your life, you probably know that they worked really hard to get there. If you think of a star athlete, they didn't just wake up being the best at that sport. It is conscious efforts day after day where they're putting in that effort to become the best. And also keep in mind, if someone tells you you can't, they're showing you their limits, not yours. Now let's quickly address a few myths surrounding the FIRE movement. Myth 1 being that you must save 50% or more to retire early. Myth 2 being that early retirement means never working again. Myth 3 is that FIRE is only for the young. Myth 4 is the next bear market will snuff out the FIRE movement. And myth 5 is early retirement requires saying no to lattes forever. So no, you are not required to save 50% of your income. Obviously, the higher you are able to save, the faster you'll achieve your goals. But the big focus is just saving what you can and having that plan that you're going to stick to. And as we already addressed, retirement does not mean never working again. It's having that freedom to choose what you're spending your time on. And FIRE can be for anyone at any age. It is never too late to try and focus in on your finances. As far as the bear market goes, I think this year has proven a lot as we've had quite a turbulent year all around and especially in the market. And we're seeing more people than ever get into the financial space and looking for further financial education. So I think that proves that myth wrong right there. As far as the lattes go, I mean, maybe start making more coffees at home to trim some expenses, but that's your choice. So that is the FIRE movement in a nutshell. I would love to hear from you guys. Are you working towards FIRE? What does financial independence mean for you? So leave it down below in the comments. You know, I always love hearing from you. If you made it all the way to the end of the video here, you better make sure that you're subscribed and give us a big thumbs up as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day and cheers.